Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Welcome. Here we are again reading the Bhagavatam. Where are we?
Canto 4, Chapter 8, Text 45.
Yes, correct. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We close that door. So
Close the door? Oh, this is unusual. Sorry. Sorry, everybody. Oh, dear.
For some people in life, just closing a door can be a whole episode.
Rigmarole. No.
Rigmarole?
Rigmarole.
Rigmarole. Hey, Bhagawan.
Alright, 47.
Let's just read Bhagavatam.
The form of the Lord is described herein. The Lord's face is perpetually very beautiful and pleasing in attitude to the devotees who see him. He appears never to be displeased, and he is always prepared to award benedictions to them. His eyes, his nicely decorated eyebrows, his raised nose, and his broad forehead are all very beautiful. He is more beautiful than all the demigods. Purport. This verse clearly explains how one has to meditate on the form of the Lord. Impersonal meditation is a bogus invention of modern days. In none of the Vedic literatures is impersonal meditation recommended. In Bhagavad Gita, when meditation is recommended, the word matpara, which means pertaining to me, is used. Any Vishnu form pertains to Lord Krishna because Lord Krishna is the original Vishnu form. Sometimes someone tries to meditate upon the impersonal Brahman, which is described in Bhagavad Gita as avyakta, meaning unmanifested or impersonal. But it is remarked by the Lord himself that those who are attached to this impersonal feature of the Lord suffer a very troublesome task because no one can concentrate on the impersonal feature. One has to concentrate on the form of the Lord, which is described here in connection with Dhruva Maharaj's meditation. As will be apparent from later descriptions, Dhruva Maharaj perfected this kind of meditation and his yoga was successful. So when I was reading the verse and it said his raised nose, it's funny because I was watching online for a few days the morning program at the manor, and it reminded me of Gokulananda's nose because you get close-ups of his face, closer than you would in person anyway.
And he has a raised nose.
It just reminded me of that, yeah. Okay. I just thought of him.
Interesting.
But this last sentence in the purport, Dhruva Maharaj perfected like this kind of meditation, and he was successful because he was concentrating on the form of the Lord. And it made me think, like recently we were talking to some devotees and it was like you can engage in like it says here, different types of meditation, or in our case yoga. We do bhakti yoga, and but without, sometimes Krishna is missing in the Hare Krishna aspect, or Krishna, or conscious without Krishna, as it were. And those devotees we were saying who are really focused on what they're doing, is for this person, is for this man who's called Krishna. He's a superman, it's not just any old man. When you actually start to do it with some focus and attention to the personal aspect, as opposed to what I mean is just doing, oh yeah, I just do my rounds, oh yeah, I just do like this, that. When you actually go deeper in your heart and do it, then you see those people are successful, they make progress, they're peaceful, they are becoming purified, they're becoming pure, like that. It's not one shoe, no,
one size.
one size fits all. There is, because it's a personal movement, and it's for a person at the end of, there's a person at the end of the personal movement. So we're just saying how you can do that for many years. You can be actually impersonal in the personal movement.
Interesting.
So the point I was linking was how, so Prabhupada saying Dhruva got, he did the meditation the right way, and he was concentrating on the form, an authorized, form of the Lord, and he was successful. And you can have yogis for thousands of years, and then we see in the Bhagavatam, and one little trip up or one little, someone triggers them, and it's all over. They can't deal with it.
Interesting. Yeah. Somehow what stood out to me, a couple of things. One is the idea that impersonal meditation is not recommended, Prabhupada says, anywhere in the Vedic literatures, which I thought, well, that's interesting, because obviously it's a very prominent thing. And he says it's a modern concoction, which you can understand because a lot of modern people don't want to be religious, because if you choose a religion, then that automatically pits you in opposition to some other religion. So if you choose a religion, then you become the enemy of someone. So therefore, if you want to be spiritual, but you don't want to have religion, so therefore you have to choose something impersonal, because if you choose any religion, then you get a sort of a form. Of course, in some religions there is no idea of a form, but but in general, there's some idea of form when you choose religion. So I thought that was an interesting concept. And the other thing is about this type of meditation, in that, yes, we also, when we're chanting our rounds, should be meditating. I mean, it is called japa meditation. But oftentimes for a lot of people it's almost like either japa rest period where they go to sleep, or japa chatting period, or japa be distracted period, or somehow just move the beads until you get them done time. And some people are just walking very quickly around the circle, or so different things just to keep themselves awake, I guess. But it should actually be a meditation. And I'm listening more and more to different parts of the Bhagavatam by Krishna Dharma Prabhu, his audiobooks, and you just hear so much how yogis, like I was just hearing this morning, Chayan Muni, Chavan. Yeah, okay, whatever she said. And how it was describing that it said that it's not uncommon for a yogi to be in meditation for so long that their body becomes covered by earth and soil, and they just, so I was thinking, God, they could just stay in meditation for a long time. And so anyway, the point being that when we chant our japa, it should really be meditation, and we should be meditating on our personal relationship with Krishna, as you were saying, and also on that, trying to see that personal form. Now, Srila Prabhupada says we just meditate on the sound vibration, and naturally the form will come. So like that, we just really try to hone in and listen to the holy name. So anyway, I just thought this was a very powerful purport and statement, but especially that, impersonal meditation is not recommended anywhere in any of the Vedic scriptures, so it's really a concocted thing. Interesting. She's meditating. Text 46. Narada Muni continued, "The Lord's form is always youthful. Every limb and every part of his body is properly formed, free from defect. His eyes and lips are pinkish like the rising sun. He is always prepared to give shelter to the surrendered soul, and anyone so fortunate as to look upon him feels all satisfaction. The Lord is always worthy to be the master of the surrendered soul, for he is the ocean of mercy. Purport. Everyone has to surrender to someone superior. This is always the nature of our living condition. At the present moment, we are trying to surrender to someone, either to society or to our nation, family, state, or government. The surrendering process already exists, but it is never perfect because the person or institution unto whom we surrender is imperfect. And our surrender, having so many ulterior motives, is also imperfect. As such, in the material world, no one is worthy to accept anyone's surrender. Interesting. Nor does anyone fully surrender to anyone else unless obliged to do so. Also interesting. But here the surrendering process is voluntary, and the Lord is worthy to accept the surrender. This surrender by the living entity occurs automatically as soon as he sees the beautiful, youthful nature of the Lord. So, very interesting purport about the topic of surrender. And really that our conditioned nature is not to surrender to anyone, unless by force. I've got a gun, you better surrender to me. Okay, yeah, I'm surrendered. But if it's, no one really wants to surrender to anyone except for our own mind at best. And even then we don't want to surrender. So there's this rebellious nature. But then the other thing is that it's a voluntary process to surrender. And the Lord is worthy to accept surrender because he's so beautiful. So as soon as one sees the beautiful, youthful nature of the Lord, one automatically wants to surrender. So that's an interesting point, that when you see the Lord, you think, oh my God, I'm ready to give everything. So another reason why it's good to meditate on that form of the Lord, because then our surrender to him will be much easier.
Yeah, and the perverted form of that in the material world is most like with men, they see a beautiful woman and then they just lose all their mind and intelligence, purely based on the looks.
Okay, so from that perspective, yeah. But they don't necessarily want, I guess it's kind of a different thing. They want to, they surrender to her because they become enamored, but at the same time they just want to exploit her. Yes. So it's not quite the same as surrender, but there is what our acharyas say, become like a dancing dog in the hands of a woman or something like that.
Alright, next paragraph. The description given by Narada Muni is not imaginary. The form of the Lord is understood by the Parampara system. Mayavadi philosophers say that we have to imagine the form of the Lord. That sounds so dumb, isn't it? You could imagine he looks like a dog.
Krishna, Krishna, Ram, Ram.
Yes. But here Narada Muni does not say that. Rather, he gives the description of the Lord from authoritative sources. He is himself an authority, and he is able to go to Vaikuntha Loka and see the Lord personally. Therefore, his description of the bodily features of the Lord is not imagination. Sometimes we give instructions to our students about the bodily features of the Lord, and they paint him. Their paintings are not imaginary. The description is given through disciplic succession, just like that given by Narada Muni, who sees the Lord and describes his bodily features. Therefore, such descriptions should be accepted, and if they are painted, that is not imaginative painting. Interesting, when you read things like that, Prabhupada's obviously answering something. That's how something occurring at the time. Whether that's people critiquing, because some of the early paintings were quite crude. And we saw them in Matchless Gifts and other places. Is it Yadu, Rani and that? But, but for Prabhupada, they were painting the Lord. They were painting based on what he told them, because they didn't know anything. So it's interesting.
Well, I found it very, very interesting that Prabhupada makes a distinction or gives a clear definition of what he means when he says imagine. He says, Mayavadi philosophers say that we have to imagine the form of the Lord. So he means concoct or make it up yourself. That's what the Mayavadi philosophers profess that we should do. But Srila Prabhupada says that if you take the idea of the imagery of the description of the Lord from authoritative sources, such as Narada Muni, who can go to Vaikuntha Loka and see the Lord personally himself, and you meditate on that, or you draw a picture of that, that's not concoction. That's not imagination. That is, taking it in parampara, huh?
Yeah, authority.
Yeah, that's authoritative. It's not imaginative in the sense that you're making it up. You're trying to use Shastra and clear descriptions of the Lord from saintly persons who are able to see the Lord in order to draw a picture so that you're able to meditate on it. So I think, then we should understand that when Prabhupada says don't try to imagine, don't try to make some imagination of something. But when you're meditating, if according to Shastra, you like say, before you chant your rounds, you're thinking the Lord's face is perpetually beautiful. He never appears displeased. He's always prepared. He has a raised nose, decorated eyebrows, large, broad forehead. He's more beautiful than demigods. If we do that and we start to meditate, then that's not imagination. It's not concocting. It's taking the mind and focusing it on an authoritative form of the Lord. Thanks. Now what's next? Because you read that, so do I read the second paragraph?
No, you read verse 47, please.
Oh, yeah.
Someone imagining something else.
Well, yeah, you want to read it?
You want to wrap it up because you may not finish in time and talk too much. And we don't want everyone else to be imagining, I wish this was over.
Yeah, so we'll keep some suspense and keep a little mystique in there. So we'll be moving on to text 47 next time. So we'll see you next time.
Alright, everybody.
Hare Krishna, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai.
Please, a big shout out, should have done it at the beginning, so I'll do it at the beginning next time, to all the new subscribers that we've had recently. Welcome aboard, lovely to see you.
Oh wow, nice to see you.
Hare Krishna.
I don't know how many of you there are or where you've come from, but welcome. Please read the Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada Ki.
Jai.